Okay, take a look up here. So, as you guys saw, when you plugged this stuff, when you plugged everything into Desmos, you saw that it moved it up a little bit. Okay, so that's what you'll see today and next week as well, is that there'll be a new number in a different place, and it's just going to affect the graph in a different way. And say moved up 2. And the more mathematical word for this is translate. Same as move. Translated up 2 units. Okay, so having a +2 on the outside just moved it up 2. And no surprise, having a -2 on the outside just moved it down 2. Alright, so once you got the hang of it, it just kind of, oh, it makes sense. Move it up, move it down. Okay, so we can say translated. Oh, I got to unfreeze it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Translated down 2. And down here we combine what we did yesterday with the slope. Remember, that's 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. But we're starting at -2. So we can start at -2 but go up 2 over 1 instead of up 1 over 1 like we did on the first 2. So we're just combining a little bit of the new stuff today with some of the stuff from yesterday. So we'll do this a couple more times. We'll add in new numbers and we'll see how it affects the graph. So this one, the A, okay, A equals 2 made it a slope of 2. Okay. And then the -2 on the end, okay, that moved it down. So you just have to know, okay, a number in front, that's like a slope, make sure it's a fraction. Right, and number on the outside on the end here, that's what moves the graphs up and down. Recall from yesterday that if it's a negative in the front, if it's a negative here, that's going to be opening down. So we're going to start at -2 again, but this one actually goes down 2, right 1. And you already saw this because you plugged it in Desmos, but I want you to be aware of all these patterns. And the one thing we haven't done yet is move it left to right. So that's the next thing we'll do on Tuesday when we get back. Okay. So this has a slope of -2 over 1, right? And it's still translated down. Remember, that little negative in front lets us know that it's opening down, so if there is no negative, like on number 3, just opens up. So it's one of those things that when we're walking around, we can check really fast to see if your graphs are right. Because if they don't have the right, they're not facing the right direction, we can tell before we even really see the rest of the graph that, well, it's a negative and it's not opening down, something's wrong. So do a self-check on each one of those. Make sure it's opening in the right direction. Okay, so on the back, the K is just the number on the outside here, so that's what moves it up and down. So think of the K, okay, affects the vertical. Okay, so if K is greater than 0, in other words, if K is positive, that's another way of saying positive. If K is positive, you know positive number, that moves up. Okay? And if K is less than 0, if K is negative, it's going to move down. Alright, nothing more than that. But we're going to add in some more values here, so it's more about keeping track of which one does what, not the fact that it moves up and down, but which number do you look at. So to see if it moves up and down. Okay? So, as I mentioned earlier, once you get the hang of it, it's actually pretty fast to graph these. If it doesn't have a slope, like this one, there's no A. That's the number in the front. That's the slope. We call it A. If there is no number, just remember it's like 1 over 1. So we're going to move up 4. Right? We're going to move up 4. And then the slope will be just 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1 in both directions. And you can see after just doing a few, you can see it gets pretty easy to do. So like on number 2, again, there's no slope in front. Use 1 over 1. This time we're starting at -1. So we're going to go down 1 and then up 1 over 1 in each direction. And there we go. That's kind of off, isn't it? Try that again. Okay. All right. Then we'll get down to like 4, and we'll start having a slope other than 1. So just make it a fraction though. So this is a slope of 2 over 1, starting at +4. So we're going to start at +4 and go up 2 and then left and right 1. So start at 4, up 2 over 1 in either direction over. There you go. Not too bad. And as you notice, we're trying to get you guys better at investigating for your own and trying to figure it out. That's what the purpose of the front is, to, okay, put it in. Tell us, what does this number do to the graph? That way you're kind of gaining the knowledge on your own and discovering it, rather than waiting for somebody just to tell you, here's what you do. So you want to kind of get better at that. It's called independent thinking, independent learning. So eventually, when you guys are out of school, you want to be able to learn and think on your own. People aren't going to walk up to you and tell you everything you need to know. You're going to have to be able to go out there and figure it out. Figure out what you don't know and then figure out how to learn it on your own. Nobody telling you what to do and how to do it, but by yourself. Okay? So go ahead and finish this up. And also finish up yesterday's if you didn't do those graphs yet. Okay? And then if you happen to finish this, I'll have the actual assignments, because this is just the notes page. The green is usually just the notes. I have an actual assignment if you're ready for that. But again, you can see how fast they are. It won't take you very long if you have time.